Welcome to Question Time. I'm Benga Ashuru. 57 years ago, Nigeria was seen as a world economic powerhouse with a political influence very much respected, far beyond the frontiers of Africa. With Nigeria's huge potential, it's believed Nigeria was set to lead the world in economic advancement, technological innovations, and industrial growth. But years down the line, these hopes appear to be dashed. Now, with the clamor for restructuring as a way out of the current political tension and the dwindling economy in Nigeria, how do we journey towards a common destiny? Please send us a comment on our various social media platforms. Our guest today is the governor of Oyo State, Senator Abiola Ajimobi, and we begin our discussion with issues bordering on Nigeria's path to nationhood. Join us.
Nigeria has gone through its trials and tribulations. We've gone through era of recession, era of economic boom, when even oil was selling at $100 per barrel, and we were doing 2.3 million barrels a day, up to the period of when we had SAP at that time. We've had our security challenges, civil war. We've had, of recent, insurgency and what have you. These are stages that all countries at one time or the other will go through. And most people, if you go back, we've had social evolution in this country. Like all countries, you go through social evolution, starting from the period where we were an agrarian society mainly, where we didn't have much industries, where the infrastructure was relatively few. And if you look at our demographics, you see that within that 57 years, Nigeria has grown tremendously.
Now, let's look at the path to nationhood now. It still worries a lot of observers that we're still at a point where we're still negotiating and renegotiating our terms of existence.
It's normal. Everybody negotiates his or our own terms of existence. Even you are negotiating. I am negotiating. Nigeria has to continue to evolve, to negotiate. But what is important to us is that here comes a time, and the time is right now. We are looking at our economic situation, looking at our socio-cultural environment, socio-political. A situation where a state in the federation cannot exist without the support of the federal government is a sign of failure.
At the moment, there are several agitations now. Are these agitations justifiable?
Oh, they are, of course. I mean, life, that was why I said life is about evolution. We had a time when our forefathers negotiated for independence, and we had regions. At the time we had regions, it was meant to allow unity in diversity.
What's your idea of restructuring?
My idea
to start with, do you support restructuring?
Of course I support restructuring.
So what's your idea? What's your idea of restructuring?
My idea of restructuring is that we have two options. One is we must restructure administratively. A situation where the federal government controls virtually everything is not good for the system. That is unitary federalism. What we want to practice is true federalism, where each state or each region, as the case may be, can have, to a large extent, independence. Independence of monetary and fiscal independence, but not structural independence. We don't want to divide this country. This country must remain one. It is sacrosanct that we remain one.
Now, let's go back to your idea of restructuring now. The Yoruba leaders have taken a trajectory that reflects political neutrality in terms of ethnic agitations now. Is that an indication that the Yoruba leaders are contented with the status quo?
No, I don't think you should zero the agitation to ethnicity alone. I think agitation is about the effectiveness and efficiency of the system, socio-political as well as economic development of the country. I think everyone agitating for restructuring is looking at development, is looking at progress. It's not about ethnicity alone.
But you've consistently maintained that the North would always be against restructuring because they want the status quo to be retained.
I think no. I think no. I think what is important for me is the fact that whether you are talking of the North or if the North is gaining now, of course they will not want to change it. All those who oppose changes are the people enjoying from the current situation. And I'm saying the way it is structured now, the North has more in terms of number of states, in terms of amenities, local governments, and so on. So all we are saying is, we don't mind. You can have more states, you can have whatever. Let there be fiscal restructuring. That for me is very important.
So you're saying restructuring, resource control should be central.
Oh yeah, resource control is part of it. But the resource control must be for development, not for disunity.
The presidency is giving signs that it's reluctant in adopting the 2014 confab reports. Should it be adopted?
I don't think, I've not seen the signs. The only thing I've seen was that the president was saying, let people not hijack it. He supports restructuring. Let's do it, let's engage, preferably through the House of Assembly and legislature. I believe that as a Democrat, as the president of all, the preponderance of opinion is that we must